Hello, I will be presenting you my proposal on designing a flexible web-based reading environment to facilitate self-regulated reading comprehension. Let's begin with some introductory comments. Reading has always been a foundational element of one's education. Learning to read is intended to provide students with skills that are necessary for proper word recognition and text decoding. The ultimate goal of reading, though, lies in the reader accessing the meaning of the text. Reading comprehension is achieved when words are recognized, their meanings are identified, relevant background knowledge is activated, and inferences are generated as information is processed during the course of reading. Comprehending a text is undoubtedly a complex process. Currently, both primary and secondary education teachers are frequently confronted with the same dual problem: the lack of reading comprehension skills on the part of many of their students, and their own lack of experience on how to remedy this deficiency. It is imperative that obstacles to reading comprehension instruction be overcome, a shift to a modern model of reading comprehension takes place, and individual differences are taken into consideration. Teachers shouldn't only foster reading comprehension, but develop engaged, self-regulated readers too. The appropriate theoretical and technological tools should be identified and used so that specific learning procedures are supported in order to help all students develop self-regulation reading skills. I will present a synthesized framework based on which a web-based reading environment could be carefully designed to aid the instructor, while at the same time fostering reading comprehension and self-regulated reading for diverse students. There is no doubt that it is desirable to provide all students with the opportunity for significant improvement of their reading comprehension. This is indeed feasible, firstly via the transition from the traditional to a modern model of understanding and the treatment of reading as a holistic process. In particular, the modern model perceives understanding as a result of the reader's active engagement and interaction with the text, in contrast to the traditional model, where the dominant idea is that the reader is a passive recipient of the message. Moreover, the traditional perception of reading comprehension focuses on the linear acquisition of a carefully sequenced list of reading skills, whereas according to the modern model these skills are regarded as a set of interactions. Thus, reading comprehension is the result of an interaction, and the outcome of individual psycholinguistic and cognitive skills. The remaining challenge, therefore, is to identify effective methods and tools that will support teachers in their attempts to foster reading comprehension for all students. In order for them to do so, the factors affecting reading comprehension should be taken into account. We need to emphasize the variety of textual types, the multimodality of texts, the reader's individual differences, their motivations, and their involvement with the text, as well as the level of support that should be provided to them so they can gradually become self-regulated readers. At this point, technology has the potential to bridge the gap between research findings and educational practice, which the traditional media, such as the printed book, have failed to do, and thus it can substantially facilitate the teacher's work. Technological advances have certainly helped to shape new book formats. Reading is increasingly shifting from paper-based one-size-fits-all texts to digital customizable ones. Using digital texts, web applications, and social media, it is now possible to develop online reading environments that can dramatically facilitate the role of the teacher, while rapidly developing student skills. The model of self-regulated learning is being used by many scholars in order to describe complex interactions that promote learning through technology-supported learning systems. In general, students can be described as self-regulated to the degree that they are metacognitively, motivationally, and behaviorally active participants in their own learning process. In particular, self-regulated readers are those who set themselves realistic goals, select effective reading strategies, monitor their understanding of the text, and evaluate progress toward their goals. Fortunately, the advent and dominance of the new generation Web 2.0, has allowed us to envision the formation of more flexible technology-enhanced reading environments that can promote self-regulated reading. Moreover, it is suggested that in order for such a reading environment to be consistent with the diverse needs of students and fulfill its goal of developing self-regulated readers, it should be designed upon the principles of universal design for learning, UDL. It must also incorporate functionalities that allow the implementation of self-regulatory strategies, actions, and processes directed at acquiring information or skill that involve agency, purpose, and instrumentality perceptions by learners. In particular, the Center for Applied Special Technology in USA began more than 25 years ago to research, develop, and articulate the principles and practices of universal design for learning. UDL is a framework that helps meet the challenge of diversity by promoting the creation of flexible instructional goals, methods, materials, and assessments that can be customized and adjusted for individual needs and thus be effective for all. Stemming from research in the fields of learning differences in effective instructional settings, UDL principles call for varied and flexible ways for representation, expression, and engagement. The UDL Guidelines 2.0 are organized according to the three main principles of UDL. For each of these areas, specific checkpoints for options are presented as shown in the slide. It is proposed that the UDL principles are embedded in a web-based reading environment, and that the UDL guidelines are correlated with a self-regulation scenario to help all learners acquire self-regulatory reading comprehension skills through a flexible technology-supported learning environment. Specifically, based on the main features of the self-regulation theory of Zimmerman, Paraskeva, and Misralaki have proposed a framework which can be used as a template for developing self-regulation teaching scenarios. The self-regulated learning strategies which can be used in each of the self-regulation phases are shown in the table. The framework for self-regulation scenarios was based on these phases and incorporates most of these strategies, as suggested by Paraskeva and Misralaki. Take a few minutes and have a look on this correlation before I proceed to the features examination. Now let's examine some features in brief. Regarding the display of information, the web-based reading environment should be equipped with a font resizer and a zoom effect. Regarding the modalities in which the content is presented, there should be a multimedia gallery supporting text, audio, images, videos, and animations. A glossary module is also needed, as well as the affordance to use and share graphic organizers and to bookmark or highlight important segments of info. To enhance expression, communication, and collaboration, the web-based reading environment should support online chat, web conference, group forums, content uploads, file sharing, note sharing, bookmark sharing, post-comment posting, screen sharing, etc. Regarding assessment and reflection, the system should provide a rubric module, allow the creation of online quizzes, assignments, self-assessment questionnaires, track history of actions, and keep log files. To conclude, the web-based reading environment, which will be based on the proposed framework, will enable more effective instruction. A carefully designed online reading environment will take advantage of UDL to customize a reading experience while implementing a self-regulation scenario. Thank you very much for your attention. Feel free to contact me for further information.